I want to share with you the outcomes of the research that we've done in our school over a number of years and that we continue to do. Professional learning, I think, is the most important thing that we can do. Learning Without Limits is about keeping the door open for everybody, believing in lifelong learning, believing that amazing things happen if we allow them to, and driven by these core principles. So the idea that when we trust each other, actually I think that's the most important thing we can do, whether we are the teacher with our children, whether we are working with colleagues, whether we are a school leader, or whether we're working beyond our school, working with groups of schools, we have to build trust. Because when you feel trusted, then you can try new things, can't you? And when you feel trusted, if you read about something or hear about something or listen into something or just kind of make a new connection in your mind about something and you want to share that, if you feel trusted, chances are you will find someone amongst your team that you can talk to and will expect that they will be interested and will expect that they will want to find out more. So trust is absolutely fundamental. Co-agency, the idea that when you have a sense of agency, that you have a voice, that you expect to be heard, not that you're always going to be right, but that you have a voice. Co-agency, children with teachers, teachers with children, teachers working with parents, working together to find something stronger than you would find if you were working in isolation. And crucially, inclusion. I'm really worried. I think one of the biggest challenges for our profession at the moment is how we remain inclusive in an increasingly market-led school system. When we think about groups of academies, who's going to include the school that's the inconvenient school, the school that's half full, the school that's not particularly financially viable, the school with children who are very challenging, the school where the results perhaps aren't as strong as they might be? Inclusion, I think, is a fundamental value that I hold very dear in terms of why I think it's important in education. We need to be responsible as a profession for thinking deeply. We need to think deeply about issues that impact on learners and impact on teachers, because that's the whole point of our job. So the idea that we have an opportunity to make the future feels pretty irresistible to me. The idea that we can say, no, we don't believe that ability is fixed. We recognise, of course, that genetics plays a very strong part, but the experiences that we offer children, the opportunities we give children to make new connections, make a difference. That gives us a sense of transformability. And what better job then is there than being in a school where we could be the ones that make the difference for young learners? Of course, what happens at home matters crucially as well. But I'm absolutely confident that we owe it to children, of every child, to believe that we actually don't know what they might achieve if only we can give them the best possible quality teaching. For me, increasingly, the work that's been done by Robin Alexander, Neil Mercer, and others on the importance of dialogue and dialogic teaching, that is a really emerging as a really, really powerful construct about how do we improve the quality of learning in our classrooms. Because when you explain an idea, you have to think about it. That notion of metacognition is really important. And when little children are expected from very early days to explain their thinking and they are genuinely listened to, and spaces are provided for them to really have to rehearse ideas, then again, the learning really develops very strongly. When we came to thinking about how we were going to record assessments after the levels were taken away, we went back and looked really closely at the new national curriculum. We haven't used levels to report progress in our school. We'd only ever sent home Year 2 results and Year 6 results. Even the phonics checks embedded within the reports that the children write with their teachers. And you've got examples of those on your table. So when levels were gone, we needed to think about how are we going to make sure that with the new curriculum we were recording the children in terms of their achievement. as a means to make sure no child fell through the net. So not tracking for the purpose of tracking, not so that we could feed an assessment monster machine, but so that we as teachers could use assessment to inform our pedagogy. So there's a real energy building amongst the profession to say we need to put learning first, not just, I think, for the children, for ourselves, which is a really exciting development. So we have a big challenge, I think, professionally. And this is where I'm really, because I'm such an optimist, I'm always an optimist, I just think when teachers together really want the best for children and they want the highest standards for children, we can actually work together to move beyond an assessment agenda that could limit us to a ridiculous level. If we get to the point where we're just teaching children to write so that we can tick the right box, that's not the kind of teacher I want to be. I do think that the sort of assessment that we need is assessment that is inspired by wonderful things going on in school, because the more open-ended the task, the greater the opportunity to be surprised by what a child can do, to be able to see things in that child's learning that we didn't expect to see before. One of the examples that we quite often give in our school is how important it is to discover the misconceptions, because as soon as you can discover the misconceptions, then you're able to understand how to tailor your teaching. So that is all about assessment. So now in our Year 6 classes, as I was saying, to do with maths mastery, the teacher will plan her lesson in such a way that she is deliberately seeking to uncover potential misunderstandings in order that they can be worked through. And the children work together in partners, and then they share what they're thinking with each other, and then some of them come out and share with the rest of the class, and then the teacher will carry on the lesson in a quite a formal style. But then at the end of the session, the children will make a decision, are they going to go and work with her in guided practice, or are they going to carry on working independently? That kind of self-assessment comes from a learning without limits ethic that says, I'm not doing this to show off to my friends, I'm doing this because learning is about what can I discover for me. And the confidence that Sally has had as our Year 6 teacher to lead this maths mastery in a way that works within the ethos of our school is all about high quality professional learning, where you have the sense of agency, where you are trusted within your school, where you are inclusive in terms of everybody that you want to support in their learning. And what she's doing is she's not only supporting the learning of the teachers in our school through the learning of the children in our school, but working with lots of other schools as well. And how does she do that? Well, we're going to hear about lesson study later on today, but within her classroom, every half term, she opens up her class and says to teachers from across our alliance of schools, come and watch. And they come and they talk to her first about her lesson, then they come and spend the whole lesson in her classroom, up to 15 teachers in her classroom throughout the whole lesson, and then after that lesson, they all then go off and talk about what they've all seen. That's exciting professional development. That's not about a script that says it's the right way to do it. That's about inquiry. That's about closely observing. That's about understanding the needs of children. It's about trust. It's about all the things that I think make professional learning the most important aspect of what we do.